Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Thank you so much for your patience. And I, I forgot about that little time change thing. I don't know for some reason why I thought Sunday night meant, early Monday morning. But um, anyway, we're here. That's what's important. Linda Lala, thank you so much for being the first person here. There are no prizes, but I tell you what, you'll get one of these. Yes, thank you. Let's see who else is here. Mary H. Nelby D. Elaine Parker, Marine Reed, Helen Marmon, hello, and Manello, Angela Thomas, Black Queen, Susie Q, doing some spring cleaning. Can't finish everything today. Well, I hope we can keep you company for a little while. Lydia Washington, Fatima Owen, Karen, and Jennifer Clark, Joyce as well. Gwendolyn Daniels. Let's see who else is here. Annie Bullard, Lady Bird. All right, very cool. All right, so I'm not going to go through all the names, but I'm just going to scroll and make sure that there are no super chats, no super stickers, and then we'll get on. Oh, you know what? How about if I get the slides up there? Uh, huh. Oh, the Oscars are going. Oh, that's from yesterday. Never mind that. That's from yesterday. Let me take that away. Remove that one. Let me put today up there. Let me see slides. Okay. I have used so much Google Slide. They're just like, okay, do you want to buy some more storage? But I think I can eliminate the old ones because everything that's important, I have taken a screenshot. So I think I'm going to go back. I mean, I think it's not bad that I've gotten this far. Oh man, that's not right. Um, mm, Maybe I should fix that right now. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that right now because it's gonna add to some confusion. I put the wrong date for today, and then if I need it again, I won't be able to find it. So let me do this and take that away and try this again. Um, All right, try this again. All right, so in the meantime, Connie Balmer! Hey, Connie Balmer. Happy Sunday to you. Or is it Monday for you already? No, I think it's still Sunday for you. Angela Simmons, hello. Adrian Burrow, hello. Let me see. Patricia Smith. Sabina Gomez. Love that name, Sabina. Very pretty. Let's see. Mo Shannon. Hi, Mo Shannon. Okay. Oh, there we go. It is Rete. All right. So, in the meantime, let me do this. Okay, I got that twice. Oh, ooh. Okay. Well, we're going to start with the ugly stuff first. I know, Kanitha Ash. What is it about that, huh? How about Meet the Edinburgh? I'm not sure how you say that, Edinburgh. Meet the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh. Oh man, I felt a bit triggered by them today, and I didn't know that this was going to be a thing, but I feel like pushing back just a little bit. I know you're probably thinking to yourself, if you're pushing back now, what did you call the last couple days? Well, just wait, it gets better. Chef Sandy Love, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And thank you for being a member. Still a bargain at just $4.99 until I get enough energy to change it, which might take until, I don't know, 2024. But Funny thing is, I remember when you guys were just like, how come he doesn't have a membership? And I'm like, well, finally I got around to it. But when I saw all of those levels and everything, I'm like, I'm getting a headache. And so I just left it at $4.99. So it is still a bargain and probably will be until I feel like changing it, which might take a while. Let me see. By the time I change it, everybody will have an electric car. By the time I change it, the Dodgers are going to move back to Brooklyn. That's how long it's going to take. So, Beverly McCaskill says, I got the Oscar preview on now, just showing off the fashion so. I haven't seen anything that I would want to buy if I had the money. I understand that. Some of those things just they're more costumey than they are practical. So I totally get that. Speaking of costuming, have you guys ever heard of the newly minted Duchess of Edinburgh? Speaking of costuming, woo! I made a funny. Okay. Okay. So Harry and Meghan might take a note. Yeah, might take note. Prince Edward bounced back from royal knockout and Sophie's PR scandal with hard work, knuckling down and getting on with his role without fanfare. Experts say proof you can be welcomed back into the fold. Oh man, this is like weird on so many levels, but it triggered me, and I'm just like, okay, uh, player pass, and I'm just like, what the heck? Let's play. So let's break it down. Harry and Meghan might take a note. Um, Prince Edward bounced back from royal knockout and Sophie's PR scandal. Um, Let me just tell you guys something. I don't know why this is trending. Uh, well, I don't know. Let me take that back. I don't know why. Oh, we got 7 months membership. I'm not looking at my other screen. Hey, Church Nelly, thank you so much for the 7 months membership. That is outstanding. Now, I don't have a way to highlight that, but thank you so much, Chef Sandy Love, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Sunday to you. Uh, but yes, thank you very much for that. So, did they say knuckling down, or isn't it more like knuckling under? If you ask me, neither of the, or is it either? Neither or either, I'll say neither of the newly minted Edinburghs or the Wessexes, either one of them had any prospects. I mean, opportunity passed them by back in 1999 when they got married, if you ask me. It was like, how do I put it? I'm just going to say it. It was like a couple of losers got together and started a family. One loser had to pretend like, okay, I'm not even going to go there. But the two of them got together and started a team. And you know what? They have each other. There's something to be said for that. And so, God love them. Um, but in terms of Sophie's PR scandal, it was just that. Sophie, actually, according to reports, it's been alleged she walked away in debt up to her shoulders, up to her shoulders. And and as for Cecil B. de Wessex, Cecil B. de Wessex, who thought he was going to be the last word in television production, his less than stellar career in television production, I have to say, was a big fat nothing burger. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you guys. Well, okay, let me just go on. Let me just go on. So, if you guys have seen some of these, let me pull this down so I could actually see what it says. Guess who's the veteran and guess who gets to wear a uniform at the funeral? It's unbelievable just how out of touch and petty these folks are. Now, that was a squatty, and I decided I've used it before, but I decided at this point I would just cut off their information from the top. But thank you if you recognize your words. Um, and that is very true. You have Harry, the two tours of duty combat veteran of Afghanistan, who was excluded from the privilege of wearing his uniform to honor his late grandmother, who was also his commander in chief. Now, that was designed to embarrass him and inflict as much pain as possible. And I hope they remembered that when they decided that, oh, I think he went too far with that book. I don't think he went far enough, but that's just me. And if you look to the right, you can see a pic collage made by one of the squatties depicting Harry looking quite gallant in his uniform. Harry, that is the war hero, Harry, who received all of those kind words from the likes of the what is it, the Fisher House, Ken Fisher, and of course Colin Powell, who was of course friends of his mom, only to find out so many years later that Colin Powell would be presenting an award to Harry. Now, Harry felt as though he was a bit young to receive the award, but I don't think Harry gets, I really don't. I'm not even going to say I'm not sure. I just know he don't really get how odd it is to see someone of his stature who has been quote unquote normal, who is so down to earth, as people love to say. Now, that is rather cliche when it comes to meeting royals, but when it comes to Harry, nothing is more appropriate than to say he really is down to earth, because he is. I mean, he's this bigger than life figure thanks to his personality and the way that he manages to put people at ease with his manners. However, in spite of all of that, how did the nanny that they hired, here she was trying to figure out, do I need to curtsy? What am I supposed to do? And what did the security guard say? Oh, you'll see for yourself. And there she, drives up to the Frogmore, and she's greeted by a barefoot Prince Harry running around in the garden. And that immediately put her mind at ease. So you have that comparison between the soldier with his chocolate medals who didn't last, what, 2 weeks in the Royal Marines or whatever it was he was trying to do. And then you have Harry. Not to mention the fact, you guys, most people do not know that Edward exists. I'm telling you, there's a lot of Brits that don't know that the Queen has 4 children or had 4 children. And trust me when I say this, there's a lot of Americans like, who? 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 The who only gets higher pitched as you go along. Who? I never heard of him. Well, you're in good company because most of the world does not know he exists. Such is the impact of Edward. He's so non existent. Sometimes, as you know, I slip and call him Andrew because I don't know. I just always, I don't, he doesn't exist. So, and then of course, no discernible skills, bankrupt company, 1.7 million allegedly in unpaid debt, and married Ed Kirching. Was she married before? How did I forget about that? Was she married before? Anyway, Sophie, who didn't have the change of a nickel when she got to the royal family, her prospects wasn't so great either. And then, of course, the total non-entity award, third class. Thanks, Mom. Well, that's what it is. Now, let me tell you something about those medals that's going across the top of his chest. Those medals are medals that are given to, even Mike Tyndall has those. And to be fair, Prince Harry has those as well. And I believe it's for every jubilee or something like that. Um, and then maybe some other stuff. But those are just things that they hand out to members of the royal family, along with the Cross of St. George and all that kind of stuff. You got the braid, the sash, the epaulets, and all that kind of stuff, the tunic. All looks pretty impressive. But it just amazes me because he, when I say he, I mean them, they, Edward has a way of finding military clothes that just doesn't exist anyplace else. The last person I've seen who rocked some very bespoke couture military finery like that was Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson used to find uniforms didn't exist anyplace else. And then, of course, Edwina with her maxi coat. I promise you, I have looked and I have looked and I have looked. I have not seen another British soldier of any stripe wearing this maxi coat that literally sweeps the ground. And to show you that it should not exist, notice how it has to stay up on one side just so that the sword can hang properly. I mean, what is the point of this? You have not served. You have not served. I will say this. Charles had his time, although very brief, with the Navy, never seen combat. Philip, of course, was on track to become an admiral had he stayed in the service, but he had to quit for his wife. But I think Philip, to be fair, would have probably stuck with it. I mean, he really needed to because being the side piece, or well, being the extra, should I say, in a relationship, fairly, was not for him. But Edwina has never achieved anything in their non-binary life. Nothing. This is as good as it gets. Very, very fragile. That's why when I heard that some woman had collapsed at the cenotaph, I just kept saying, Edward? Edward? Oh no, Edward? Well, first of all, you notice that none of them have on the maxi coat. Yeah, the coats are pretty long, but nobody has this but Edwina. See what I'm saying? You would think, but no. So that poor them, they, him, her, the face planted is not Edwina, also known as Rabelina. That is a biological woman, I suppose. I don't know. I don't get into a business like that. But wait a minute. Sophie can say farewell to TK Maxx. No, say goodbye to TK Maxx. Woo! Well, I hope this means she gets a better clothing allowance. I really do. For the sake and dignity of the crown, they need to dress her up a little bit better because looking like she just hopped into a minivan to go and do a school run is not really dignified for someone walking into the Westminster Abbey. I'll say that. So, okay. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before, but she's wearing Bruce Oldfell. But the Countess of Wessex is feeling a little afraid of Sophie outbursts at bodyguard outside bridal shop. Now, who was getting married? I mean, it wasn't her because she's already in there, so I don't think it was her. And I'm just going to say the dress is kind of bland and boring, and I really can't tell where her skin ends and the dress begins. But for Sophie, it's not a bad look. It's when she tries to go over the top that she ends up sliding up under. You know what I mean? But so Sophie does have a bit of a temper. As you can see here, um, even though she's wearing somewhat of a designer look, she's not quite, how do I put it? She's not a delicate thing. She's a little scrappy when she wants to be. So now, let me tell you the story about Sophie. Sophie, Sophie's Choice. Yes, let's call it Sophie's Choice. It really is. Sophie embarrassed the royal family. Have you guys heard this before? Sophie Reese Wessex, whatever her name is, Reese Jones, became the Countess of Wessex. I mean, she's all over the news. She's in the Time, Yahoo, Good Housekeeping. Well, she should be in Good Housekeeping because she does look like a housekeeper. She's in Good Housekeeping. She's in the Express and Hello. I mean, this is the first time she's been trending for days. But let me see, the Countess of Wessex scandal. Let me see which one it is because they're right. There was some scandals there. Um, Let me see. Scandal to the senior royal house. Sophie Wessex and Edward became the Queen's favorite. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I should have been better prepared, but I didn't know I was going to go there. Uh, well, okay. What? How do they have her attached to? Okay, here we go. 2019. Well, it goes back further than that, but let's just do this one. Prince Edward's the Queen's youngest son, and Sophie Reese Jones were married in 1999 and are the parents of Lady Louise Windsor and James Viscount Severin, which is a very cool title, I must admit. Okay, the Channel 5 documentary Scandals at the Palace, which aired last month, delve into a scandal which saw Edward and Sophie the victims of a fake sheik uncover undercover reporter. Okay, so an undercover reporter pretended to be a sheik, and this sheik in 2001, Mazer Mahmoud allegedly lured Sophie into meeting under the pretense of securing a lucrative PR contract. Royal correspondent Emily Andrews, oh God, explained sitting in the clouds, explained in a particular instance he wanted to employ Sophie's company for PR, so they met on a number of occasions, and Sophie was rather indiscreet, indiscreet. She sang like Aretha Franklin. She talked so bad about that family. In the secretly recorded tapes that resulted, Sophie criticized Sherry Blair. So, you know, this was a while ago, the wife of the prime minister, Tony Blair. Daily Mail editor Richard Kay added, she said the royal family didn't like him because he was too presidential. She also made some unflattering remarks about William Hague, who was then the leader of the opposition. The Countess also spoke about Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles, who were not then married, saying that the public would not like Camilla to be queen. Royal historian Richard Fitzwilliam, oh God, not Dickie Fitzwilliam, continued, there absolutely no question that this was a traumatic time for Sophie. Now, remember, this is the one who was saying how she did such a great job going to New York, even though most people didn't even know that she had left Hampshire or wherever she lives. However, the documentary narrator continues, Sophie and the royal household tried desperately to contain the scandal, which made it much worse. Fitzwilliam explained the documentary that this had been a sting led to attempt to negotiate with the News of the World for its removal. the substitution with an interview by her about Edward and other matters. The inclusive interview appeared in exchange of the fake chic revelation not being published. However, the tapes were leaked to rival newspapers. Ooh, that's interesting. So, Mr. Fitzwilliams continued what appears was firstly under the headline, My Edward is Not Gay. A story in the news of the world and the fake chic story in the mail on Sunday. Oh, Lord. The entire transcript of the fake chic story then appeared in the news of the world and subsequent weekend. The whole thing was catastrophically handled. Miss Andrews, that is, of course, Emily Andrews, added at the heart of it is a real scandal was the perception that she was trading on her royal connections for what she had to give up for what I'm sorry for that is she had to give up her company, meaning her PR firm, which was sinking like a rock. Sophie stepped down from the PR firm she founded, RJH Public Relations, in the wake of the scandal. So because she had that huge misstep, she had to give up her PR firm because otherwise she probably would have had to leave the family. She released a statement that read, I am deeply distressed by the carrying out of an entrapment operation on me and my business. What business, girl? Your business was going down the tubes. That's why you were trying to be sneaky. But I also much regret my own misjudgment in succumbing to that subterfuge. Subterfuge? What is it? A science experiment? Whatever you want to call it, Sophie. You got caught out. You should have been embarrassed, but of course, anybody who would go out in that blue jumpsuit knows no embarrassment and has absolutely no vanity whatsoever. So, with that, I'm just going to say Sophie all of a sudden is trying to carry on like she has conquered the world when the truth is she was floundering when she got married. Her PR firm, I'm going to put it to you like this: the Windsors are what saved her. Otherwise, she would be eating cat food today. So, all of that grand stuff that she puts on when she's looking down her nose at Meghan, at least Meghan showed up thriving with money in the bank. Meghan had what, 3 million followers. Meghan had worked with a clothing line, no scandal. Worked with charities, no scandals. The UN, no scandals, nothing. There was nothing there. They had to go and find the trashier side of her family to try to come up with things. Sophie probably has PTSD from being married to Edwin. I bet there are more than three people in that marriage and not of her gender idea, allegedly. Allegedly, absolutely allegedly. Well, I've never heard any reports of that, but let's just say this: Edward's been a worry for quite some time. I mean, anytime you sit down with somebody and the first thing you say, Edward's not gay, my husband's not gay. Oh man. So we would like to hire your PR firm. My husband's not gay. Right. Anyway, is there any way he's not gay? I just told you he's Ah! Woo! I mean, anytime you have to sit down and just start declaring my husband's not gay, something is going terribly wrong for you. And whatever they are to each other, I'm not getting into their business. Live and let live. Uh-oh, hold on a second, you guys. I'm here. I'll be right back. Hold on. Oh, Okay. It was starting to get a bit hot. All that hot air coming out of my mouth. I had to adjust the temperature. Okay. So, volatile, mean, cruel Sophie. Hope Sophie gets a stylist to help her with her status, but you can't buy class and style no matter what you wear. So Ford Fiesta is what we will still see. Exactly. So there was some speculation that she's been upgraded to a Ford Escape, but until we see anything different, I say she's still rumbling down the street like an old Fiesta. Sophie was married before the royal hypocrites got the nerves to talk about Meghan. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Oh man, Sophie, aka Ford Escape, needs to be cleaned up. Her face fixed, engine replaced, hatch aired out, new paint job, and works before she is presented to the general public. Yeah, she could stand a little bit of polishing, that's for sure, because she has succumbed to the mileage, and the warranty may have expired. You know what I mean? Once that warranty goes out, everything goes wrong. Once you get about 100,000 miles on the odometer, I mean, let's just take a look. I mean, oh man, where are you going in that belted potato sack? Church. Oh man, is it like some kind of policy that some of the royal brides must wear kitchen curtains every place they go, or at least twice a month, or what is it? Okay, let's move on. So, if you guys recall, it was just barely, they put this story out there. They put this story out there to try and float the idea of skipping the Edinburgh title for the Wessexes. Now, I have been on this for a while. I told you that that was a promise made in 1999. It is Sunday, March the 12th, 2023. Philip lived and died, no title. The Queen lived and died, no title. And then Charles took the throne in September, and he's just now giving them the title. What's up with that? So, it was very close, and that she may actually owe that title to the Sussexes with Lily and Archie. Otherwise, there was always that chance that it just wasn't going to happen. So she got lucky. She definitely got lucky. Okay, and of course, if you take a look here, Sophie Gate, April 2001. Sophie speaks to the news of the world's fake chic. That was just a couple years after they got married. So from 2001 all the way until 2023, do you know how many times she had to lie awake in bed, gnashing her teeth and pretending to be happy? Pretending to feel good about herself. She had ambitions. She wanted to do things, but she didn't really have enough of a draw on her name to do real stuff. And so, aside from riding to church with the Queen, she really didn't have much of a role. Now, I'm going to be very fair and say that she did do some work with some kids in Africa. If you guys remember, it was like a vision program in Africa. Now, this, of course, was done, and she even engaged with the children of the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy. And then what happens when they asked about Oprah Winfrey? Both she and her non binary husband say, "Oh, we don't know who that is." You don't know who that is? Are you serious? Only for someone in the Sussex Squad Detective Agency to produce a few photos of Sophie. Where was she? at the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy. That Oprah. Oh, that, yes, honey, that Oprah. Oh man, I think she's is going to walk around like she's better than Princess Meghan. Hell to the no. Absolutely not. And I will make sure that at a time and a place of my choosing that I am going to remind them again and again from where she came and what she came with, which was a couple of American tourist suitcases and about 20 cents in her pocket when she married the what was he? Well, when they married, he became the Count of Wessex. She became the Countess of Wessex. He didn't have anything either. I think he was probably still lodging at Windsor Castle or Buckingham Palace until they got married. And then the Queen gave them that big house. And even with that big house, she wasn't satisfied. What did she do? She tried to be slick and sit down with some sheik. I mean, you would think that you would have done your homework and found out that this so-called sheik was fake. But she didn't do that. She was so busy thinking about the money. And you guys, I'm not even mentioning half the stuff that she said in that thing with the sheik because she talked about the royal family something terrible she did. So it was a lot more to it, excuse me, than what I shared. So I urge you to look it up for yourselves, Sophie and the Fake Sheik. But yes, there was more. Let me see what I can find. And I wasn't even going to talk about the Sheik, but since we're here and since I'm being shady, I thought, oh, why not? Why not? Ups and downs face the history of the Dukes of Edinburgh. So, oh, here, all right. So they revised the story back in 2016. The Fake Chic top scoop from Sophie Wessex in um, Wessex to the seven sex plots. Oh man. Okay, 1997. London burning actor George Grandhill star John Alsford. Well, okay, I don't want that one. Okay, 2001. Sophie Wessex. Let's do this one. Sophie Wessex reportedly had to write groveling apology to Prince Charles, Tony Blair, and William Hague after Mahmoud lured her into making highly embarrassing comments about them. The Countess was set up by News of the World at the Dorchester Hotel, where she gone to secure a PR contract with a dumb self with, with a Saudi prince. In the meeting, not only did she lampoon William Hague for his appearance at Yorkshire and his Yorkshire accent, wow, she was sitting up there doing mimics. Um, but she went on to refer to President Blair and PAP budget delivered by Gordon Brown. The Countess was forced to resign from her PR firm. Let me see. Wow, how dumb could you get? And you know what, guys? I don't want to pick on Sarah Ferguson, but she did the same thing. It was it would just seem like if it would seem like if one person got caught with a fake sheik, how many how many times do you have to get caught with a fake sheik? Okay, note to self: if anybody comes to me and say that they are a sheik and they want to give me some money, please make sure you turn the other way. Okay, note to myself. I mean, that's just so stupid. If it happened to, let me see, Mahmoud took another royal scalp in 2005 when he posed as a property tycoon interested in buying Princess Michael of Kent's 17th century Cotswold manor house. The princess gossiped freely about other royals, hinting Prince Charles had only married Diana as a womb, somebody to give him children. And in 2010, Sarah Ferguson told Mahmoud that she could get him access to her husband, Prince Andrew, who was a quasi official British trade envoy, in return for £500,000. I mean, that's three. That's three of them. Countess of Wessex got in trouble with a fake sheik. Then Princess Michael of Kent. How come that doesn't surprise me? And then Sarah Ferguson back in 2010. I mean, you could not make it up. And what gets me is that they seem to think that Meghan is not the sharp one in the room. That's the problem. She is the brightest one in the room, and the rest of those dimly lit bulbs. I mean, if somebody else falls for a fake chic, you know what? I quit. I just quit because I am going to be in a padded cell somewhere because I won't be able to stop laughing. How many times? I mean, I would think when one of them succumbs to the fake chic story. Woo! Ah! Let me see. Baron, you are causing changes. These folks dressing better, getting makeovers. And I see, what's the name? Justin Myers turning his head to show, um, Justin Myers turning his head to show his ears. Okay. Who's Justin Meyer? Elaine Parker says, Baron, when Philip died, the title of the Duke of Edinburgh went to his eldest son, Charlie. Only when she died did the title revert back to the crown. They could be given out by Charlie. Okay, okay. So they can only be given out by Charlie. Well, I get that, but if the Queen intervened to make those children of the Cambridges prince and princess, and I'm speaking of Charlotte and what's the other child's name? Um, Louis. I mean, I don't see why they would have to wait. You know what I mean? Because according to that one particular letter, matter of fact, where do I have that? Where do I have that? Just for the sake of curiosity, I'm going to find that letter again. But I really don't think that they should have waited until the Queen died, because that promise said, let me see, is it this? No, that's not it. It said that when Philip died, that he could have it. So the Queen could have gave him that title sooner. They didn't have to wait, because reverted to the crown means the Queen, not to Charles, and for Charles to give out, because at that time, I mean, I think the Queen was considered the crown. So I'm going to disagree with that one. I think that the Queen had it within her control, and she just chose not to do it. She was going to let Charlie do it, and Charles, being Charles, did what he wanted to do. But let me see. I'm going to find it. Okay. Okay, so I'm not. Oh, yes, I do have it. I do have it. I do have it. Let me see what it says. Uh-oh. Aha, there it goes right there. All right, so the Queen today been pleased to confer an earldom on the Prince Edward. His title will be Earl of Wessex and Viscount Severn. The Prince Edward, I hate saying that, thus becomes His Royal Highness the Earl of Wessex, and Miss Sophie Rhys-Jones, unmarried, will become Her Royal Highness the Countess of Wessex. The Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh, and the Prince Charles of Wales have agreed that the Prince Edward should be given the Dukedom of Edinburgh in due course when the present title now held by Prince Philip eventually reverts back to the crown, which of course the crown is the Queen. The Queen has also decided, with the agreement of the Prince Edward and Reese, Miss Meese, that Ford Fiesta, that any children they might have should not be given the style His or Her Royal Highness, but would have courtesy titles as sons or daughters of an earl. So, right there, I believe that revert back to the crown, that's just my opinion, means the Queen, and that the Queen could have gave him that title anytime that she wanted to. I don't see how that says that Charles would be the one to do it, because I mean, at that time, the Queen was the crown. And she had stopped being, according to that release from the palace, she hasn't been the Duchess of Edinburgh since the day of her wedding. That ceased to be. So I believe that the Queen had it within her authority to give him that title, and she just chose not to do it. I think they were waiting for like a big, maybe they were waiting for his 60th birthday. You know, they were waiting for something. But why his 59th birthday is strange. It should have been done. Or you know what? I think that maybe they were going to wait until the coronation. And because of the Sussexes, maybe they, push things up a bit. I can't say. I can't say, but that's what it seems like to me, is that they just decided to not give it to him. And maybe Charles somehow talked the Queen out of doing it and saying that she should wait until, she's gone, and I'll do it myself. And then he just fiddled around with the idea. I mean, why would they let a press release come out saying that they're going to give it to Charlotte and then not straighten out things or speak out, seeing how embarrassing that would be to the Wessexes, unless Charles was just being his usual flip-flopping self. Thank you so much, Rick, for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex, and happy Sunday to you. Okay, so let's continue. Abandonment comes after the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge faced protests and criticism on their tour of the Caribbean. Well, what do you know? Remember, they had to skip one of those stops on the Caribbean because they were starting to get protests. And maybe the protest was because of that stupid framed picture that they gave to the president or prime minister of wherever that was. That was just ignorant. I mean, here they got this lovely boxed whatever. And what do they get? They get a picture frame from the palace and put one of their mug shots in it and then hand it to another world leader. Disgusting. Black Queen says, so the white woman can drag the unroyals and be welcomed back in the fold, but the woman with the black blood who only called out their racism gets dragged 24/7, 365 days of the year. I mean, you look at it, and she wrote a letter of an apology and such, and a groveling letter, as they said, and and that's what happened, is that she was finally welcomed back. So, okay, there you go. All right, so let me see. Oh yeah, so Oprah built that Leadership Academy in South Africa. It was not just named for Oprah. Oprah built it so Ford Fiesta to visit the school and then take photo ops with students only to claim not to know Oprah. Yeah, that was kind of stupid. I think they thought it was like a bit of a joke, but given how important Oprah is to, the history of the United States, being the type of person that she is and having had the career, I thought that was a bit insulting. They wouldn't want anybody talking about anybody over there of such a stature. I mean, what if I went around making fun of Lorraine? Oh, actually, I do make fun. Never mind. But you see my. Anyway, so these are just a few of the moments where Sophie Reese Jones, Wessex Myers, whatever her name is, um, trying to throw shade to the Sussexes at Westminster Abbey, glaring at Meghan outside of Westminster Abbey, looking sad and down in the mouth. Look at how the corners of her mouth turned down because she's looking at the backside of what is her name? Catherine the Great, the person that she's going to spend the rest of her life walking behind. And of course, outside of the St. George Chapel at the bottom, you can see once again that pathetic glare of hers. I would love, if I ever had a chance to talk to her, first of all, I am going to introduce myself as a sheik. And second of all, I'm going to ask her, what in the frappuccino were you looking at? Why were you looking at her like that? Please tell me, because that was totally uncalled for. And then, of course, Crown Country, a history of Royal Britain. Oh, Crown and Country. There it is inside of the sea. Crown and Country. So at first, Edwina tried to put on some variety show where he managed to get, I think Ford Fiesta participated, right? Anyway, it was like some weird variety show. Princess Anne, Sarah Ferguson, all of them participated in this stupid variety show that he put on. And it was all a bunch of laughs and giggles and stuff like that. But when the press, he asked the press, he said, "What did you think of it?" Well, they had left the press waiting outside in the cold or something like that, sitting around. Anyway, so the press laid into Edward. Edward got mad. Like I'm telling you guys, you could look this up. There's this video where Edward got so pissed with the press and he just stumped off and wouldn't talk. And also, let me tell you something else. Edward was the one who went to the school where Harry and William were going to school. Now, even though the press had agreed to lay off of them until they finished their education, the person who violated that moratorium was Edwina, because when Edwina's show was failing, when Edwina's production company starts down the downward spiral, well, guess who went to the school so that he can film his nephew and showcase him on television breaking that little rule that they wouldn't talk about the boys. So I actually kind of blame him in a roundabout way for the press feeling that it was okay to intrude upon both of the kids at school because someone within the family was the one who actually was the first to bring cameras on the campus and didn't ask permission or anything. He knew that he could get away with it because he was the son of the monarch. And so he had this country, crown country thing about houses. Okay, like we never saw that before. He also had that variety show. Nobody understood what was going on, so that didn't work out. And then, of course, he went to the school and started filming the boys, something everybody else had been excluded from doing. And of course, and once that happened, guess what happened? Just like Sophie, he closed down his business. So both of them are complete failures as far as I'm concerned. Nothing they ever done has amounted to anything. Now, Sophie has been blessed to get some front page newspaper stories about her. albeit disparaging and pretty sad and pathetic. But those are just some of the pages that Sophie has managed to make it to in her climb up the ladder of success to becoming the Duchess of Edinburgh. That's the Duchess right there. That is her serene, majestic highness, the Duchess of Edinburgh, at her finest, looking just as shady. So take it for what it's worth, but that is the person that they are lifting up and celebrating as the savior of the royal family. As they said before, that Sophie is the secret weapon, the secret sauce. That's Sophie. Sophie is going to save the royal family. That is what they have been trying to say to us. So, oh, not that one. Sorry about that. Okay, but I got a little bit more. I got a little bit more. I ain't done yet. Let me see. Where is that one from yesterday? Huh. Ooh. Nope, that's not it. Give me a second, you guys. Oh, there it is right there. See, there's Sophie Wessex. Countess shows she's ready to take over from Meghan Markle and Harry. That's the story they've been pushing for a while. Is that she and Edwina are ready to take over? Okay, and then right there's a few more of them. Prince Edward shows off his medals. He dropped out of the Marines after 4 months and never saw active service. I don't think it was as long as 4 months, but okay. What exactly did you do to win these medals? There must have been some major flack flying in your 1 month service. That sounds more like it. I think it was more like a month of service. Not 4 months, but I think it was a month. A month. So, and of course, let me take a look at a couple of your comments before I go on to talk about the Sussexes. I'm just doing a little comparison because that is what the papers are doing right now. The papers are doing a bit of a comparison between the two couples or the two families. And I just want to make sure, for the sake of clarity, that we can straighten some things out. So far, let's review. I have pointed out that Sophie's business was a failure. I have pointed out that Edward, with all the contacts and the connections that he has, that his business has been a complete failure. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that there are a couple of failures. Now, contrast that to Harry and Meghan. Now, mind you, Harry is what, 40, 41? And Uncle Pennywise is a whopping 59 years old. So, okay, contrast and compare. Here we go. Are you guys ready, or do I need to look at any of these comments before I go? Okay. Let me see. Okay, Baron, do you think the UK monarchy will ever be abolished? That would be revolutionary. Well, so much of their constitution, if you will, is tied into that family. It's not impossible. Everything is impossible until it's done. And at a certain point, I believe that they will abolish the monarchy, but the royal family will continue and their prestige. Oh, that's right, 38. I'm so sorry. Where did I get 40 from? Their prestige, is going to continue. People always seem to favor the aristocrats, even those that do not have power. So it's going to be okay for them. They will still have money, they will still have land, but they may not have any constitutional role in the future. That's what I think is going to happen. Connie Balmer, thank you for the super sticker. Okay, 38. I don't know why I said 40, but anyway, I don't know. I'm just, maybe I was thinking Megan, but okay. Thank you so much, Connie Balmer, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. All right, so let's do some comparison. Are you ready? Take a look. Archwell, Greek word meaning source of action, a plentiful source or supply, a place we go to dig deep. There you go. Thank you for subscribing. Of course, I subscribe. And then this is not in any particular order, but I just want to remind, especially, I know that there's a collection of hate watchers. So I just want to remind people of the contribution of the Sussexes. Like that time, Global Citizens was pushing for equity in the distribution of vaccine. They weren't forcing anyone to take it, but for people who wanted it desperately, for people who did not live in so-called first world countries, there was a limitation of available medicine, right? There was a deficit, if you will. And so, to make it possible, they went to the most influential couple in the world, the most influential royal couple. They didn't go to the Cambridges, nay, they didn't even go to the Wessexes. I couldn't believe that. Who wouldn't go to the Wessexes? And they certainly didn't go to Charles and Camilla. They went to the Sussexes, the most well-known, most influential royal couple in the world. So Harry and Meghan, they hit the ground running, as our Duchess loves to say. As a matter of fact, they started making phone calls and just look at some of the people that showed up. Now, if this was the lineup for the coronation, I think they would be in good shape. But I'm trying to see, is there anyone in this lineup that Charles has been able to convince to, well, let me see. I don't see Lionel Richie. So I don't see Lionel Richie. So I'm just going to say no. What? They couldn't get Lizzo? Shawn Mendes? Adam Lambert? Really? Andrea Bocelli? No? Wow, what kind of coronation is this going to be? Elaine Parker, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Sunday to you. Always appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay. And of course, the Time 100 most influential people. The Time 100 most influential people. And what do you see? Not the Wessexes, not the Edinburghs. You see the Sussexes. And how about this? Global fundraising efforts led by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, 1.9 million vaccines for 6 days. They raised $1.9 million, that is, for vaccines in 6 days. And of course, World Central Kitchen. And thank you to the squatty who put this together ages ago. I was going through my receipts and found it. Or what about Harry and Duchess Meghan will build a relief center in Mumbai to aid India's pandemic crisis? Huh? Or Prince Harry and Meghan Markle donate 200 beanies to New Zealand charity. Those are hats, those little skull caps for us in the U.S., little Nick caps. Prince Harry and Meghan donate new roof to Texas women's shelter. Harry and Meghan diapers to a charity in LA. We just talked about that. Harry and Meghan are investing in the next generation of young, diverse journalists. How about Meghan Markle speaks out about the death of George Floyd and Black Lives Matter movement? Prince Harry, Meghan Markle sports hairnets to bake with homeboy industry. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle delivers meals to Project Angel Food. Prince Harry, Meghan Markle plant Forget Me Nots in LA preschool. in honor of Princess Diana. Oh, I remember that. 2,000 copies of her children's book across the U.S. A million seller, wasn't it? I'm sorry, New York Times bestseller. Prince Harry will donate 1.5 million of his memoir proceeds to Centabale charity. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle volunteer with Baby to Baby in Los Angeles. And of course, Duchess Meghan donates more than $13,000 to UK grassroots organization Hima. Or Prince Harry and Meghan Markle launch multi-year partnership with Procter & Gamble. Meghan Markle, Prince Harry donate $130,000 to girls' education across Africa. Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan Foundation to collaborate with UCLA Center. So that is what the Sussexes have been doing in just a few years of marriage. What has the Wessexes, what is it the Wessexes have done in 23 years, 24 years of marriage? What have they done? I'm trying to think. What have they done? Nothing really comes to mind. I know there was something about eye care. And as for, I remember Rambolina told that black man to get out of his mama's way. Can you just step back? Can you just step back? Ooh, I tell you, he was a force to be reckoned with. Oh, African Parks? Harry and African Parks? Huh. What about Harry receiving that award and being honored to receive it from Colin Powell, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Secretary of State, Colin Powell? Huh? Okay, and let's see. Shelley L. says, with all the social climbing going on, King Charles III better stay away from the staircases. And if he gets a cane, he better keep Queen Camilla on the opposite side. Camilla is a council of state. So if Charles is impaired in some kind of way, I think Camilla has a right to sign things on his behalf. So, oh boy, Shelley L., I think you're onto something. And thank you so much for the super chat. Let me see here. So let me see. And since we're on the topic, let me find that video. Oh. Okay. I got it. I labeled it properly. Is this one it? Let me see. I hope this is it. Okay, no, that one's too long. That's not it. Okay, that one is too long. Let me grab the shorter version. And then we'll discuss Harry's contribution on the other side. Huh? And no, Susie Q, I'm not going to play that one that made you cry. I promise I'm not going to play that one. I promise I'm not going to play that one because I don't. Okay, there it is right there. Thank you so much. I knew I had labeled this properly and that it would be easy to find. Okay, you guys.
War on terror. And a courageous group of men and women stepped forward to say, me, I will go. And that includes you, Harry. You live by a simple principle: serve together, recover together. It's a philosophy not limited by the flag you wear. Your brothers and sisters in arms are connected by something so much deeper than the borders that separate us. And you've dedicated your time, talents, and heart to lifting up service members from around the globe.
And Prince Harry, thank you for your service during 2 tours in Afghanistan with the British Army and for being a champion of veterans in this community.
I'd now like to introduce Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, who's a humanitarian, mental wellness advocate, environmentalist, and military veteran. As co-founder of Archwell, he is focused on driving systemic change across all communities through nonprofit work as well as creative activations. The mission across Archwell, which currently includes Archwell Foundation, Archwell Productions, and Archwell Audio, is united behind the deeply held belief that compassion is the defining cultural force of the 21st century. In fact, Prince Harry has dedicated his life's work to advancing causes that he is passionate about. He is the founder of the Invictus Games, a platform for wounded, injured, and sick service personnel to use sport as part of their rehabilitation, something I know a little about, as well as Travelist, a nonprofit entity comprised of several of the largest online travel agencies in the world. Additionally, he co-founded Sentabali with his dear friend, Prince Seso of Lesotho, in memory of their mother's charitable work in combating the HIV crisis, and serves as president of the African Parks, a non-governmental organization focused on protecting Africa's ecosystems in partnership with local communities and governments. He was named Chief Impact Officer at Better Up, a world-class coaching platform that helps people everywhere achieve their own version of peak performance, and serves on the Aspen Institute Commission on Information Disorder, which brought together critical voices across public, private, and civil society landscape to respond to today's mis- and disinformation crisis. Prince Harry served in the British Army for 10 years, rising to the rank of captain and undertaking 2 tours in Afghanistan. And I must say it's been my absolute privilege to work with him. Prince Harry, over to you, sir.
Okay, so there you have it. And as Marshar has said here, American military honors Prince Harry to where representatives of his own country and his unworthy, unroyal family won't. That is powerful, Marshar. Thank you for reminding us about that. So I didn't want to miss anything, so I thought it was wise to bring some other voices in here. And of course, gosh, what does that say? I can't see that top part. Oh yeah, so this is a list of influential people according to the Economic Times, and I believe that's a British magazine, brand equity as one of the world's most influential for his brand power, along with Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Prince Harry. And of course, let us not forget the Duchess of Sussex, which, as I said, they kind of conveniently, but you can see it listed at the bottom. So BTS, yes, it's a band, but they tend to have a lot of influence with younger people. So this is just a snapshot of some very influential people in the world today. And you don't see the so-called popular Cambridges on that list at all. I mean, Meghan gave out gift cards. I don't know what the sales were. I wonder how many more gift cards were gifted around the country, if not around the world, because of Meghan trying to help the people that were fighting for, oh goodness, it was that Marshall Plan for Women. And of course, even the Sussexes during the Oprah interview, Michael Knight, is it? Michael or Christopher Knight from the Brady Bunch, who started a outdoor furniture business. Those chairs sold out. Those chairs sold out. And the business is thriving because the irrelevant Sussexes told their side of the story after suffering through another year of insults? Or how about when they broke the internet with these first pictures of Lilibet? You guys remember that? The first pictures of Lilibet, and they broke the internet. Not just once, but several times. And Oprah, I'm not Oprah, but listen to me. The 12 Meghan Markle approved products we always shopped. Well, there are just a few, but then I added some more. How many companies, how many times have we heard this story? Oh, well, I went to bed and such and such, such and such. And then when I woke up, I saw that my phone had blown up. There was all these tweets and messages, and my phone was ringing off the hook all day because Meghan wore your earrings or wore your clothes or carried your handbag. I mean, companies that were otherwise, just kind of meandering along, all of a sudden there was that Meghan Markle touch and more of a touch. I mean, this is the style icon in all of the royal households. Now, I must admit, there are some times when there's a little competition from the Queen of Spain and people like that. But in terms of sales, in terms of changing the fortunes, it's Meghan Markle. Period. Meghan Markle. Princess Meghan. The Duchess of Sussex. How Meghan and Harry could soon be worth $1 billion. This is what they said when they left Narnia. All of this was predicted, and the royal family knew it, and the press knew it, and they fought tooth and nail to try to prevent them from making money, from making an impact, from being accepted, for being the face of the British royal family. That's what they're afraid of. They don't want the Sussexes to ever be seen as the face of the British royal family. This is the face that they want. I know, shocking, isn't it? And this is the face that they want. And wait, don't forget, they want this one. They don't want her to really talk, but they want this to be the face of the royal family. And old sourpuss, they want him to be the face of the family. That's what they want. They want the family to be in what they call safe hands. And that, of course, includes the Wessexes. They don't want anyone who is going to change the status quo. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle could become billionaires after leaving the royal family, according to a wealth expert. It wasn't just one person who said it. Several people said it, including Mark Cuban. Now, I'm saying this for a good reason. They have not scratched the surface. The royal family don't know when they got it good. When I say they got it good, I'm saying this. Harry and Meghan are being very, very neutral in their approach to wealth building. They're being very conservative as they build their portfolio. Instead of, selling milk in China, right? Or instead of starting some ridiculous variety show or doing something that's been done a million times, stately homes in Britain and all that kind of stuff, they're working with sustainability. I mean, like the Travelist. The Travelist is forward-looking. Better Up, forward-looking. And Archetypes, something that informs women on the labels that have been forced upon them, that's looking forward. I mean, podcasting is how a lot of people get their news and information. So they're looking forward, not backwards. And so when they say the Sussexes will likely make $1 billion or be billionaires in their lifetime, they're on their way. And they don't have to sacrifice their dignity to do it. President's Award recipients, Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Or how about Invictus? Barely even mentioned Invictus, but Invictus is huge. Huge. When it comes to that, I mean, I think if I'm correct, only the Paralympics is bigger. Only the Paralympics is bigger. After the Paralympics, you have Invictus. And let's face it, at some point, Invictus is going to creep closer and closer to the Paralympics. That is going to happen. And whether or not the British military industrial complex wants to become a part of it makes no difference. It makes no difference. They are still climbing up there. And then, of course, here's why Houston should have been part of Prince Harry's rodeo trip. Well, the American prince, look at there, the city of Houston found out that, where was he, in Dallas? And they're just like, wait, we got what you need here. That's not a one of. Anybody would be glad to have associations with them. And of course, there's Nacho Figueras presenting that award, one of that memeable moment that he had. But they're huge. They're just huge. They're so much bigger than that family. And even before Meghan, remember when Harry flew down to Jamaica and stopped the independence movement? Remember that? All he had to do was fly down there and just be charming old Harry and look at the prime minister. What? What independence? I ain't say nothing about no independence. You play too much. I ain't say nothing about no independence. Come on here, boy. We about to go eat some dinner. Stop playing. Remember that? Remember? What independence movement? Harry flew down there and I'm just going to say it, in that poor cheap suit he had on. Harry went down there, and next thing you know, reunited, and it feels so good. Reunited, and we understood. There's one perfect thing, and sugar, this one is it. We both are so excited 'cause we're reunited. Hey, hey. I mean, Harry jumped off that plane like James Bond and went and laid the little charm on. And next thing you know, that was the end of the Jamaican independence movement. That is what the royal family let slip their grasp, is Prince Harry and the Duchess of Sussex. They just let them slip through their fingers because of their pride and arrogance. Now they don't have it. The last time some royals went to the Caribbean, it didn't work out like this. Other royals don't have the same effect. Poor Sophie got attacked by a bird when she went to the Caribbean. I remember that. Poor Sophie was attacked by a bird. That's how much they thought about her. They sent some attack macaw after her. Hit her with his talons so hard, knocked the sunglasses off her head. So, what's up? Do you want Sophie to represent you? Obviously, you do. You want that dull has-been who couldn't even keep her PR firm together. It don't take a genius to run a PR firm, but Sophie can't do it either. Oh, man. So I'm just saying that they assume too much when they have decided that the Sussexes are defeated or the Sussexes have no role. Okay, I found what I was looking for. This is what happened when the Cambridges.
Prince. Trenchtown wants $245 billion. That's what Trenchtown wants. $345 billion. Yes, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what Trenchtown wants. Yes. What do you mean?
When you go and you shake your tail feather like that, you're supposed to make some money. Man or woman, if you can shake your behind like that, somebody needs to give you a couple of dollars. But instead, William comes back with a bill for $335 billion. You know what I'm saying? When you shake a tail feather like that, you're supposed to come back with a profit. William comes back owing money. So something went terribly wrong. William was supposed to come back with money or something. You know what I'm saying? But instead, he comes back with a bill. Ben, what do you think about the Saturday Night Live joke about Meghan being finally invited by the Unroyals to the Coro as a 19-hour maid uncovered? I don't know. I haven't seen that. Was that last night? I didn't see that. Oh yeah, today is Sunday, so I guess it was on last night. I didn't see it, but it sounds kind of tacky. I have not seen it. But thank you so much. I'm going to make sure that I look for it so that I can yeah, and you know what? I didn't see it trending anywhere. And obviously with the people that I follow, I wouldn't. But yeah, I did not see that. But yeah, pretty tacky. It sounds pretty tacky. Wow, I'm gonna have to look for that. Let me see. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it right now. Of course, I can't show it. Okay, so that one was 4 years ago. 8 hours ago. Wait, that's not SNL though. I need to see it from them. That one's parent. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to try to find that one later because I don't know what skit it was on. So, and I don't want to click on a hate channel by mistake. So, okay. But thank you for telling me about that. I did not see it, and I do want to see it. Okay. So let us not forget Meghan Markle went to the same what was it? The Hub Kitchen. The Queen had been to the Hub Kitchen. The Cambridges went to the Hub Kitchen. I think even Charles had gone to the Hub Kitchen. All of them went to the Hub Kitchen, and nobody was able to actually think of anything while they were there. They listened to their stories. They walked around, nodded their heads, all that kind of stuff. But Meghan shows up and she's like, how come you can't keep your kitchen open more than a few days a week? Well, Mom, we lack the funding. What? That's it? Yeah. Have you thought about a cookbook? What if we wrote a cookbook? I'll write the foreword. All of a sudden, the Hub Kitchen had all kind of money coming in. Now, of course, because of the racism of some of the British tabloid reporters, all of a sudden, the women at the Hub Kitchen found their lives were threatened because of a bunch of lies about them having connections and stuff like that. But I'm not going to ruin that fantastic gesture by the Duchess of Sussex. You know, it's that same type of reporting, which is why Ngozi Fulani had to give up her position at the sister space because of the royal racism. But remember, we're not a racist family, and that certainly should never be considered as a country that is not progressive, and a country where you can find bitter, pathetic racism like that. And trust me, coming from a country myself where that is rampant nowadays, I know it when I see it. I've experienced it. So very disappointing, but I'm not going to let that overshadow the gesture of the cookbook, right? And then, of course, as mentioned, I think it was Marshall mentioned Harry's connection to the United States military. I think he looks very comfortable in front of that American flag. I think he represents what makes us Americans, and that is that you can come here from another country and you can find yourself a community and build your fortune. People have done it for a long time, and Harry's just another one. It just so happens that this prince of the realm has found refuge amongst the ancestors of slaves. Isn't that something? Instead of his own family, with all of their wealth and position, being able to help him, it took African Americans to give him a sense of community. Wow, isn't that interesting? Noreen Lovelock, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Sunday to you. And then, of course, there is speaking at the United Nations. Charles, you haven't. Side piece, you shouldn't. The Queen has. Meghan has. Harry has. And, of course, you ain't and you can't. So I suppose that the Queen and Meghan and Harry have that in common. And as for the rest of them, they either shouldn't or couldn't. And in some cases, probably never will. But be that as it may, there are 3 people on that balcony that can say that they have actually had an opportunity to speak at the United Nations. It's just, I know one of them in particular couldn't. And oh, man. And 2 of them might look across the room and see somebody they used to date. And then, of course, the one that is incandescent with rage, well, nobody wants to hear what they got to say. So seeing that he has offended most of the people from sub-Saharan Africa, probably not a good idea for him to speak. And then, of course, let us not forget that the Sussexes actually upstaged, and I'm not taking any pleasure in saying this, but let's face it, these Sussexes are so relevant and so important that they upstaged the Queen at her own funeral. If you guys remember, the reporter that you see down there at the bottom, he said Prince and Princess of Wales, Duke and Duchess of Sussex meet with the mourners and view tributes outside of Windsor Castle. But the thing that really made people upset is because he referred to William and Kate as the other 2 royals. He said Harry and Meghan and the other 2 royals. And boy, I tell you, the British media was hot about that. I mean, they were so upset. As they used to say, they drawers wasn't touching them nowhere. They were so hot, they drawers just about combusted and fell off of them. Harry and Meghan upstaged the Queen at her own funeral. If you guys remember I said this, when that plane made its way to Scotland and landed at that airport, was it Aberdeen Airport? All the reporters were saying, and I believe that that's the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have just arrived. It looks like, yeah, there's a plane right there. And it looks like Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, have arrived. Looks like that plane has the Sussexes. And now we're going to, and then it was just like all of a sudden, there was this big egg that stepped out the plane. And then, of course, there was this Uncle Pennywise. And then, of course, this frumpy, vagabond looking hobo, the Countess of Wessex. Very disappointing. I mean, as soon as that happened, they were like, cut, cut. All of a sudden, they had to go to commercial, or they found something else to talk about, because the last thing they wanted to talk about was the Cambridges. I mean, how disappointing to see that plane arrive up there in Aberdeen, and then all of a sudden, instead of an egg hatching, the plane hatched it. Well, the plane popped an egg out of it, and then the rest of them cut. I just can't cut. What's wrong? Oh, it's the Cambridges. Cut. Well, who is that? The Wessexes. Oh, cut. Wasn't nobody trying to hear from them. Sent to ballet, and let's not forget Meghan's magazine covers the cut. She did the edit of the what was it, the Vogue British version, and of course she did speak out about racism during the George Floyd thing. But of course, that's an older image right there from another time when she spoke out about racism, and the more recent One World opening. And of course, the most viewed docuseries ever on Netflix, which has a whopping 200 million subscribers and probably far more viewers, but 200 million subscribers with those shared passwords. And of course, the Ripple of Hopes Award. All of these things that everybody knows about in just a few short years of the Sussexes' marriage. And what about Stephen Colbert? Harry makes an appearance on Stephen Colbert, and suddenly he's had some of the highest ratings that he had in a long time because of Prince Harry. Harry. And of course, the Spare and the Bench, his and her New York Times bestsellers list, his and hers, not them and they, but him and hers, New York Times bestseller list. And of course, if I missed anything, let's try this one. Los Padres, and that of course is the polo charity. Invictus Games, Well Child, The Me You Can't See, Halo Trust, African Park, Santa Ballet, Better Up, Dolan, Lesotho something, and Penguin Random House, NAACP Award, Paid Leave for All Women, all families rather, and of course, Time Magazine, SmartWorks, The Bench, 40 by 40, Ethics, Archwell, Lead, oh, let me see, I can't see that one. Lead with Love, Netflix, Spotify, what is that? Girls Inc., Genesis, Harvest Home, The Love Land, or is it Love the Land? Global Citizens, what is that one right there? Something Mind. And of course, UCLA Center for Critical Internet Inquiry, World Central Kitchen, National Women's Law Center, PressPad Foundation, URL, and Center for Humane Technology, Aspen Institute. So in case I missed anything, you have all of those things revolving around the Sussexes, and probably quite a few more that I failed to mention. But I just wanted to make sure, for the sake of balance, when people are trying to say that the Sussexes should have stayed behind and knuckle under and just deal with it, allow your family to brief against you and humiliate you as much as they possibly can, make a big fuss about what you can and can't wear, where you can and cannot live like your children, instead of being grown-up adults and moving away and making a life for yourself, which is what they did. And of course, the House of Sussex with the heraldic badges and stuff like that. Yeah, it's very emblematic of the British House of Windsor and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, they are so far removed from all of that stuff. But the poor Countess of Wessex, now the Duchess of Edinburgh, you see what she's going to be doing for the rest of her life? She's going to spend the rest of her life walking behind Catherine the Great. Yeah, she's going to spend the rest of her life with her head down, trying not to get noticed, which is what she's been doing for, what, 24 years? That's what she'll be doing for the rest of her life. While the Sussexes are thriving and having a good laugh, I'm sure, about what they left behind. While the Sussexes are thriving, she's going to be over there wondering which jewels she'll be allowed to wear, wondering if she can afford something that actually flatters her figure. And Uncle Pennywise, well, he's going to have to try to justify his 2 weeks in the military and about 50 pounds of ornamental medals that he has to wear on the balcony. That's what they'll be doing. Lex says, I remember the time when the Royal Rotor used to ask, what have the Sussexes done? The question should have been, what have the Royals done? Any closed charities? I hear that there's quite a few closed charities, like the one that Kate hadn't been to in 8 years. They were just barely making it. But yeah, the idea, of course, is that if they put their name on the charity or if they make it a patronage, that somehow that charity is going to appreciate some type of windfall, when the truth is they usually sink right into the ground with the patrons removed from it. And then, of course, they go after charities like the Sister Space because maybe one of the members spoke out about racism. So yeah, thank you so much, Legs, for the super chat. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Oh, Uncle Pennywise, all things come to those who wait. And of course, he'll be in the background giving off that Anthony Perkins energy from Psycho. He'll be in the background smoldering with hostility like he has been since 1999. All things come to those who wait. Now, all he has to do is outlive everybody else in the family. And then, of course, in the next, 500 years, perhaps he can make his big move. But until then, we can mark the passages of time by his ever-changing appearance. And then, of course, that curious trio right there, all of them jockeying for, well, two of them jockeying for position. One of them, well, she knows her place, doesn't she? I think she knows her place. Oh, man. Please report any trolls to the administrators. Well, I see at least two of them right there. There's two trolls. And, of course, the Duchess of Sussex thriving. Speaking of Duchess of Sussex, one of these squatties wanted to create an illustration of, that is, if the Sussexes decide to go to the coronation, they thought that this might be a look for the Duchess of Sussex. Well, I altered things just a bit. It had some kind of like jewels around the waistline, like in a star pattern or something. So I removed that and just made it a plain white dress because, as we know, Meghan loves her clean lines, and that fussiness was a bit much. So that, I believe, is the Spencer tiara that they use for that. So I put a Spencer tiara next to the photo to give you an idea of what it looks like up close. Now, there's no indication that Meghan would wear the Spencer tiara, but I'm kind of thinking that Meghan probably would not wear any type of headdress if they do choose to go. But if you're wondering what might an appearance from the Duchess at the Westminster Abbey look like, well, there you go. Um, very dignified, very refined. I'm sure she will wear something that will, be elegant and timeless. That is for certain. And of course, the trolls will probably overdo it in some kind of way. I could imagine what's her name is probably going to raid the Queen's jewels again. And then for Sophie, I think Sophie is going to probably try to wear some type of flared out jumpsuit. She keeps trying to bring the jumpsuit back. So I think she's going to wear some kind of flared out jumpsuit. Okay, Archie and Lilibet won't be invited to the coronation, but Camilla's grandchildren will. Royals and fresh snub to Harry and Meghan, who they hope will be seated in Iceland for the ceremony. This means absolutely nothing. Harry and Meghan have been invited, but are expected to be at the event on May the 6th. Let me see. Archie and Lilibet will not. Those kids are too young for that anyway. I would not want them to go. I don't think the Sussexes would want them to go, especially Lilibet. I mean, she's way too small. I don't think there's anything to that. This is clearly clickbait. So that's what I think of that. And of course, Prince Harry is on the horns of the dilemma over whether to attend the coronation, according to the royal expert who says, oh God, not a royal expert, who says the Duke plummets in opinion polls every time he opens his mouth. Well, you know what? He's got about 400 pages of plummeting ahead of him with the next book that comes out. So if the very popular Prince Harry is down in the dumps with the polls, which that is more suggestion than truth, so what? Royal author Nigel Cawthorne says Prince Harry is facing coronation dilemma. There is no dilemma. Give us the security we want and we'll show up. If we don't get what we want, then we won't show up. That's that. Okay, I'm done with that topic. And then, of course, the idea of the TIG coming back. We don't know. The reason why we don't know is because unless we hear it from the Sussexes, then it's not true. It's just speculation. It's another palace source or insider. But unless it comes from them, we really don't know because they live in Montecito. And in Montecito, there are no leaks. So nobody knows if the TIG is coming back except for people within the Sussex household and the people that work for Archwell or whatever. But we don't know. That's Meghan's call. And so far, Meghan has been satisfied doing whatever she's working on. And if that includes the TIG, then that's what it includes. But so far, we don't know. It's just speculation, clickbait, a paycheck, a conversation on the talk and the GBN news or whatever, but it has no real purpose. Pam Porter says, I've accepted that we are going to be in this war to protect the Sussexes for a long time. It's got the feel of the War of Roses, let me see, Redux 21st Century Edition. Yeah, it is kind of like that, except for, the bloodshed and everything. But for me, I would be satisfied just watching the Sussexes thriving. That would give me a lot of satisfaction. This other stuff is very frustrating, but I also cannot stand a bully. So for that reason and many others, I've decided to take a stand. And there's a lot of like-minded people that feel the same way, or there may be some other reasons. Kim Peaches says, "Wouldn't all the royal family wear coronet crowns? And wasn't little cousins were on the balcony before Prince Louis was 4 years old? Princess Charlotte and Prince George were on the balcony at 4 years old." Well, the balcony is one thing, but sitting through the service at Westminster Abbey, that's another thing. So when I say that they probably won't go to the coronation, it doesn't mean that they would not go to any other parts of it. The carriage ride would be very stressful for any child, except for Charlotte, who seems to, take it with a grain of salt. The carriage ride could be very stressful, especially if you're used to California. Um, that might be kind of weird. I mean, that's a lot of stimulation with all those people and everything. So, and of course, there's they'll probably have a reception and a banquet and all that kind of stuff. And typically, royal children over the years have been kept away from a lot of things. But there is a time and a place, where the kids are shown off to the public. And the balcony appearance is something that could happen. I wouldn't rule it out. But as for sitting through the actual ceremony, maybe not. Maybe they'll along with the other kids that are not in attendance, they may be at the Buckingham Palace with a governess, or maybe the kids will stay at whichever residence the Sussexes are using for that visit. Oh, thank you, Sugar Plum. Okay. Okay, there's a forecast of an astronomical surprise. No surprise. Summer cannot come sooner. Okay. All right, you guys. I think I am just about done. Let me see what else I had. Yeah, that's it. I am done. So, with that, you guys, let me see. The Sussexes better bring their own nanny. Don't trust them folks with the kids. Amen. Yeah, I don't think the Sussexes would trust those kids with just about anybody. It has to be someone that they bring, or that lady that we saw interviewed or something like that. And of course, maybe Doria will come, not to go to the thing, but just to be with the kids. There's that possibility that Doria may show up. Oh my God. And if they try to talk Doria into getting on that balcony, and trust me when I say this, Charles is going to pull all stops to try to make himself look good. He's going to do every little darling boy trick he has up his sleeve during the ceremony. So I don't suspect the ceremony is going to be any fuss. I really don't. William, of course, won't be able to contain his hostility. But aside from that, I don't suspect much is going to happen. And least of all, that I would expect any trouble or anything like that. Charles needs for this to go right. Charles needs the Sussexes more than the Sussexes needs him. Yes, we did. We lost an hour. Yeah, my computer has the right time. It's just everything else in the house doesn't. But my computer and my phone is correct. So, oh my God. And I got an early appointment tomorrow. How will I manage? I don't like it. It gives me anxiety. All right, you guys. Thank you very much. Mod Squad, thank you for all of your super chats and super stickers. Thank you very much for that. And someone did send me the link for the Saturday Night Live Oh my God, I don't know if I want to watch it, but I will. But yeah. Okay. And earlier today, I received a Cash App, and I think I received one last night, either a Cash App or a PayPal. So thank you guys for that. They were received and greatly appreciated to support this channel. And let's see what else. I think we're good. So with that, you guys, I am going to bid you all a farewell. Hopefully, I can start sooner tomorrow rather than later. That is my goal most days, but life happens. Okay, so let me take this tag off of here because I don't really care for what it implies because they really don't know. So let me find something else that I can put up there. Something humorous and funny. Oh, I'm sorry, not grotesque. I said humorous and funny. Oh man. But I tell you guys, you gotta love the Sussexes. They have been doing the work. They have really done the work. And I really, 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 really hate that so many people have oh yes, thank you, Lydia. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I actually watched while I was prepping today. I'm gonna have to go back and watch again. But I watched Lady Sussex on the Meghan Markle, the real Cinderella. You guys, please go and watch that. Some of the stuff that I have been talking about, I noticed that the Lady Sussex have been discussing those same topics as well. She and her panel does such an amazing job. And I cannot stress this enough. If you guys miss the old Tina and Michelle on Sundays, then you have to make the Lady Sussex part of your viewing habit. It has been fantastic. One week has been better than the next and better than the next. And but every week it's growing. And now, unfortunately, there was a bit of an issue with some copyright stuff, which can happen, but it's a growing pain. It means that your channel is making an impact. It means that people are watching, and it means that the algorithm is pushing that material out there. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It just means people are watching. And anyway, the Lady Sussex fixed the copyright issue and then re-released the video. So let me tell you, anytime something like that happens, then you know it's some things that the palace did not want you to see. Now, they did a review of a documentary I watched a long time ago, and this is what's really going to bake your noodle. I actually got dinged with a copyright for that same documentary, and that documentary was about the I won't call it, let me see, what do I want to call it? Well, it explains Charles and Camilla. It was a very interesting documentary. And now I want to go back and watch that documentary again. I watched it maybe 2 years ago. And when I tried to use it for one of my videos, I got dinged. And it's like the BBC really doesn't want people to talk about it. It's out there, but they don't really want people to talk about it. And I'm not even sure that it is directly their video and not some other production company's copyright, but it's like they don't want you to watch it. But it explains a lot, and it's so interesting. And you really got to hear the Lady Sussex explain some of the more interesting points about it. So I recommend that you watch it. And if you guys want to talk about it, that'd be very cool. But yeah, so very, very interesting. I was just like, wow. So there at the top of the chat is the link to the Lady Sussex, and you'll be able to see for yourself. But that is what I watched just before I came on today. And I'm going to have to go back and watch it again because I was prepping and watching at the same time. So I know I probably missed some stuff. And I think that you will enjoy it. I know you will. So that is something that you must do on Sunday. You have Ivy at Sussex Global UK, and you have the Lady Sussex on Meghan Markle, a real life Cinderella. So you have those two. I would highly recommend both. Let me see here. Oh, look at there. I forgot to hit like. I had a sneaky suspicion I forgot to hit like. But yeah. All right. So I did do that. Let me see. I see Church Nelly has watched. Child of Cece watched. Who else has watched? Oh, I see a lot of Swatties have watched already. That's good. Lydia. Do I see Lydia here? Yeah, Lydia watched. Verta Sanchez has also watched. Okay, so you see there, you're in good company. So I am going to work on some dinner, and then I am going to catch up with hello, Ivy here. And that is going to be my evening. All right, so there you go. All right, thank you. Oh, Edna Richardson watched. Rosa Roberts, cool. Novi D, I watched before it was taken down. Okay. Yeah, they took it down and she put it back up, making some adjustments to the copyright part. The copyright is a serious thing, you guys, and especially when your channel is making an impact, that's when the copyright claims are starting to come out. So it's just a part of doing business on the platform. And there are workarounds. As you can see, I have managed to work my way around it. It takes a little patience, and you have to make sure that what you're doing is not in violation, or in other words, something that is reportable. So, but yeah, that is what you have to do. So it's ways around it, and they're not going to keep us from telling our story or telling our side of things. So there you go. All right, Mo Shannon, thank you very much. Good night. All right, it has been 2 hours, so I'm going to bid everyone a fond farewell. And okay, last word of the day is bye. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, Susie Q. That was, I tell you, it's like Olivier quoting Hamlet. That was the most profound thing I've ever heard. Oh, but thank you so much. That is a neat, tidy ending for today. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Oh, and our two queens. How could I forget our two queens? Can't do that. There we go. Our two queens. One watching from above and one watching from sunny California. I think these are going to be my new queen images. One for our beloved Diana and for Doria. Our lovely lamented Diana and our fabulous Doria. All right. And so with that, again, good night, you guys. And I am going to, I think I'll end with Once Upon a Time this week. Okay. Or today. Once upon a time.
you.